Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Biz Tips. So, a couple years ago, when I first moved to ATL, I met this young lady. We had lunch together, and she blew me away with everything she had going on. And I'm like, yo, I gotta find a way to get on a podcast so she could share these gems. Miss Alexandria, what's up?
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me. And it was a pleasure. You blew me away with all the information that you had too. So don't think I was the only one giving the gems because you dropped a bunch of gems too.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, so let's dive right into it. Who is Alexandria?
I am Alexandria, also known as the Care Girl online. I am all things care, self care, senior care, pediatric care, all of that. So I have a home care agency located in Georgia. Now it is called the
Mhm.
Care Girl Agency. So
Nice.
we service sick kids and adults. We send nurses and caregivers out to take care of people. And
Wow.
I also help investors and healthcare providers and nurses start their own home care agencies as well.
Ooh, okay. I like that. So you not only have the business, but you're helping people start their own. I think that's huge because a lot of people don't talk about that, right? Like they're doing something, they're super successful at it, but they're not helping somebody else to do the same thing. So congrats to you on that.
Yeah, I kind of stumbled upon the consulting piece because I had a lot of agencies coming around me asking me, "Hey, I like how you do your marketing. How do you get clients?" And then I had a lot of burnt out workers, healthcare workers, asking me how to become a
Mm.
home care owner as well. So I was like, "Hey, let me. This may be a lane that I need to go into." Because although home care is very lucrative, you still want to diversify your income. You don't want everything all eggs in one basket because really like last year we lost like maybe five clients back to back and they were like
Yeah.
high top dollar paying clients, and the consulting really like saved me on some things. So I was like, hey, this is something that I need to continue. And there are a lot of home care consultants that no longer have home care agencies, so they don't have real
Okay.
time data on
Mm.
what can be done. And they're kind of like just giving you like how to get your license, but they don't
Yeah.
give you the advice on how to run an agency.
So let's dive a little bit deeper on that. Tell us about that home care agency. How did you start with that? Why a home care agency? Also, you hear like, home care, then you hear staffing, then you hear in-person care. Like, what's the difference between all of those? So it's so many, the space is so broad. So give us some, difference, and then why did you start and how'd you get started?
Okay, so I'll start with home. A in-home private home care agency is an agency where you can run it from home. You don't need a
Okay.
physical location. Your caregivers actually go out to patients' homes to take care
Mm.
of them, and you oversee the care. So you're the middleman. The family contacts you for care. Your company, you hire somebody for the care. You oversee the schedule and you oversee the pay as well for the
Okay.
family versus the family going to get a one-on-one caregiver from care.com or some other type of website where there's an independent caregiver. You have to
Mm-hmm.
hold a certain amount of liability insurance and all that good stuff to protect the caregiver and worker. I mean, in the family as well. So that is a private home care agency. Now, a what you would also hear is a home health agency. Home health usually
Okay.
in Georgia means physical therapy, occupational therapy, and also some type of nursing services. Usually, when people are discharged in a rehab, uh, from a rehab or a hospital, they get home
Uh-huh.
health. Private home care, families can actually pay privately about $30 an hour to $28 an hour for care, up to 24 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
Um, yep, yep. So then you have the staffing piece. The staffing piece is when you just have a license to staff. So you may staff medical doctors, you may staff nurses, and sometimes
Gotcha.
you are. It's a direct hire situation where you're recruiting for this company and interviewing the nurses and all of that. Then they give you a percentage of whatever their salary would be, which would be you would need a some type of network. To pull from to in order
Gotcha.
to pull of nurses, or you may have more doctors than nurses. So they're both doable. But what I like about the private home care is that the state of Georgia pays me to take
Mm.
care of people. So the
Mm.
pediatric program here pays about $40.96 an hour.
Okay.
I make after I pay my nurse, I make about a 26, almost 30% margin on that, and that's weekly care. I get paid weekly as well. So you can take insurances with the private home care. Now the home health staffing is different.
Hmm.
You don't take insurances. That means you're waiting 30 days for a facility to pay you, depending upon
Mm.
if that person actually stays on as an employee for 30 days.
Oh
So
wow.
that's the difference in a nutshell. I know I said a lot.
You
Um,
definitely did. You gave like 5 or 6 different revenue stream in the home care space. Well, I got
Yeah,
so
no,
many.
that's not even the different revenue streams. That's just like the difference between home care, home health, and healthcare staffing.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. So
yes,
these are like 3 different businesses altogether.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. The first one I have is which is the private home care.
That's the one you're running.
Yes,
Got it. So
yes,
tell me more about that, right? Like, what do you do with your patient, right? You don't call them clients, or do you call them
yeah.
clients, or is there a difference between
Clients.
clients and patients?
I say clients because I'm not the actual one like giving the care.
Okay.
So like I have a new lady that's onboarding this weekend. She called me. I actually she saw me ad that I had up on Nextdoor. No, I actually
Mhm.
responded to something. I'm in an elder care group, and she called me and hey, she needs 7 days a week care, 6 hours a day. So and she's $30 an hour. So I had called my
Okay.
caregiver. Caregiver's going out to start their shifts Saturday. So her mom has cancer,
Wow.
unfortunately. So we will be with her to end of life. She's already on hospice. So that
Okay.
means she probably may have about 6 months or a little bit longer, just depending upon. She refused treatment because she's in her 80s, almost 90, and she
Yeah.
just said, the Lord will take me. So
Got it.
we'll be there until He takes you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we make it comfortable for them. We work alongside the hospice, and basically, I have an electronic medical system where I schedule the patient. I
Okay.
schedule them, and the caregiver clocks in and out. And every 2 weeks, my caregiver gets paid. I bill that client monthly.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So she
Yeah.
found
You
me
bill
online.
monthly,
She,
and then
she
you
sees that I
allocate.
give care, and then
Okay.
I already have caregivers in my back pocket. I already have them hired, have them worked in and everything. Their process looks like you hire them from you put an ad up, they come in or you do a virtual hiring, and they
Okay.
do all the paperwork. They have to have a clean background. They have to have a CPR card.
Okay.
And I want experienced caregiver, especially for this lady because she can't get out the bed. That means that my
Yeah.
caregiver has to pivot around
Yeah.
her around and actually put her in a wheelchair. She's probably like doesn't weigh a lot because of course cancer,
Yeah.
if it's there, is you're probably like getting smaller and smaller. So she's very very small, fragile. But I wouldn't put a new caregiver with her because
Wow.
she needs someone experienced.
So
So yeah, that's basically how the process looks.
I like that. I like that. So I got another question, right? Because I mean, for each client you're working with, you gotta hire those people. What's the hiring process look like? How long is it normally? And is it several round of interviews? Does the client interview them as well? What does that look like?
So we pretty much have we already have a list of caregivers that have already applied. I like to
Gotcha.
I like to have a pool to pull from. So I just
Okay.
basically text my caregivers that aren't working. I text and say, hey, I have this client out in this area who needs to be serviced. Whoever wants to get it, let me know, and then they'll bid on that shift. Or if I know a caregiver in that area where their open availability is that shift, I
Mhm.
send it to them. But I also have with my electronic medical record system, which is called Access Care.
Mhm.
I have where they can see if when I post new shifts, they can actually apply for it. They can just go in and just take the
Hmm.
shifts.
Got it. I like that. Wow. That's pretty cool. So, and you're impacting a lot of people because you're working with seniors, you're working with children. Like, what has been, as a business owner, right? What have been some of the success stories that you've seen working with your clients?
We had one of my babies came from Montana, and it was
Mm.
the special case. She had her foster mother was here. Her mother unfortunately couldn't, of course, take care of her, and she
Yeah.
was on drugs when she had her. So the baby was withdrawing from heroin.
Oh, wow.
Had that baby for almost 2 years. She is well now. She's not having any more seizures. She's seizure free, and now she's into daycare. So we took care of her 5 days a week. My nurse was
Wow.
there with her until she was better.
That's amazing.
So, sometimes we're with the kids until they are 18. Sometimes we're with that adult parent until they pass away, which could be years.
Wow.
Not everybody that we get is a cancer case, or so you're essentially a part of a family, and you get to see the progression of the child, or you
Yeah.
get to see the decline. But you get to help a family that is
Yeah.
in need and that can't give that care themselves. Because a lot of times, let's say you have a loved one, God forbid, get sick, and they're close, and they're close to you, a parent or a grandparent, and you're a busy entrepreneur, you're not able to take care of mom or dad. That means that we come in, bring people who are passionate about that type of work
Mm-hmm.
alongside of you, to help assist with care. So that's what I've seen, like, that's very fulfilling. And I know you asked me, like, how did I get into this field?
Yes.
Because originally I am a singer, songwriter, dancer. I've been that since I was 6 years old. My mom's a singer. She's an opera singer, blues singer.
Wow.
She plays piano. I play guitar. A lot of people don't see that part of me. I don't have any of that online. I do have some music up, but I won't be dropping any links.
Okay.
Um, long story short, my grandmother was neglected in the home several times. And
Mm.
I saw a big need for agencies that would take care of people. So I looked into it. I had a hairdresser at the time. Also, that hairdresser was my sister's best friend, and
Mm-hmm.
she was a caregiver for years, 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 and years. And I said, "Hey, have you ever thought about starting, a home care agency since you already do that?" And she
Yeah.
said no. So we partnered together back in 2015 and started an agency called Two Caring Hands. Parted ways with that partnership around 2021 and took over the current agency that I have now because I had a different vision. But that
Yeah.
agency went to six figures, and this one is on track for a meal. So I think I made the right decision. It was a
Congrats.
big learning gap because I didn't know anything about home care, but I was working in a hospital as a neuro diagnostic tech with
Okay.
neurosurgeons and everything, neurologists for a long time. So I had a medical background. So I say anybody can do this.
Oh, wow. Wow. I love the story. We're gonna have to have you come back because so much I want to dissect. So to kind of wrap things up, um, if you know, because you've been in that space and there are other home care agency owners and people that just started their own healthcare or medical practice, like what is that one small tip you would share with them that can help them, really grow their business?
I always say get with a consultant or mentor who has done it before and that has had a lot of mistakes, and success in the business, because you don't want
Mhm.
to go at it blindly, because it's such a gap,
Yeah.
that it's a great area, especially for those coming from the bedside. I'm actually launching a program called From Bedside to Home Care Owner, and I
Okay.
will be actually assisting with turnkey home care licenses
Oh,
and
wow.
coaching. So that's something that I have put off, but I'm doing. I'm gonna do that due to the fact that I had such a demand for it.
Yeah.
So when I have that link, I'll send it to you, and
Yes.
I just
That
say don't go at
sounds
it
good.
alone. Continue to invest in yourself, and
Okay.
education around it, and then figure out what makes you different. And don't get into the business if you don't have a passion for people.
Okay, I love it. Love it. How do people get in touch with you right now, Miss Care Girl?
I am on Instagram and all platform as the Care Girl, Twitter the Care Girl. So the Care Girl underscore on Instagram. That's like the most thing that I post on. But I also have a podcast as well called the Care Girl Podcast, where I
Nice.
interview healthcare leaders and disruptors in the wellness industry. And the podcast is called the Care Girl Podcast, and it's on my YouTube, the Care Girl official.
I love it. I love it. Guys, check out Alexandria, the Care Girl. As you can see, she knows her stuff. If you're thinking about creating another income stream, that licensing might come really handy. She has gave me so many good gems I had to bring in. Thanks for coming in, Alexandria.
Thank you so much. You have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah.